Quick tutorial here on how you can turn a video like this into a package for television like this.
Idiots.
In this video, young joyriders and car thieves known here in Milwaukee as the Kia Boys are at it again. First off, and most importantly, you're going to have to work with two different project timelines. Not as hard as it may seem. First off, you need to create a timeline called, we'll call it vertical A-roll. You can see my video format setting. It's set to vertical here. That's your standard 9:16 formatting that you would see in a smartphone that's held vertically. So we'll create that project timeline. Step 2 is to create another project. We're going to call this one simply broadcast package. You're going to change this back to the 1080i standard broadcast formatting we use for our videos on air. You have your two project timelines. Now, why do you need two? Well, vertical A-roll, that's really important. A-roll referring to a reporter's on camera, their track, sound bites. We're going to put everything into the vertical A-roll timeline, and then we're going to export it, and then we're going to cut it up. All right, folks, well, for the sake of time, I've already cut up all my A-roll. You can see it here. I simply shot a vertical video of myself on camera in my office. Are at it again, and that yellow car there. And then from a previous package I did in Milwaukee, and this is just to illustrate the process, I took some sound bites and I dropped them here into my A-roll timeline as well. Obviously noting this is that 9:16 formatting. And when you drop in a smartphone video shot vertically, the formatting is going to be perfect. I had to scale down the interviews from this previous project to fit. If you notice over here, we're at 360%. I did my best to fill that frame. You'll notice here I've also spaced out my A-roll, track, on cameras, sound bites. It's because you're going to be cutting this up like I mentioned earlier, and eventually dropping it in on top of a foundation for your broadcast package. Moving right along, next step, that broadcast package foundation. So here we are in your standard broadcast template, and I've grabbed my viral vertical video. This is what's going to make up the foundation. And you can see if I drop it into the timeline here, far from fills this frame. That's okay. We're going to do a couple things. We can either go to our transform tool here, or we can go over here in this bin and we can scale it up. I prefer using the slider tool to scale. Next step over here, that's transitions. We want to be in effects. You're going to go to your Gaussian blur effect. Drop a blur on that. I think the default 50% is a bit too high, so I'm going to drop that to 40. And then we're going to bring our sound down as well. Let's say, see how loud this is at minus 22 decibels. Good enough for jazz right now, at least. And we're going to Command C, okay? Move your player head, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. My video in total, let's say, is going to be about 1:15, maybe even a minute. That more than enough creates a foundation of your vertical video blurred out, and you're going to build on top of that now using the A-roll. Now, this is where we go back and pull up the A-roll we exported. Let's expand it just a bit. Here, I can scan through it all, see all my clips. Let's scan to the beginning. Let's set our in, fast forward, set our out with the I and O keys, And then our player head is down here at the beginning. Just quick key Q and drop it in. Now here's one of the tricks. Formatting. I don't want Carol McFarlane center. I want her on the left. So if you go over here under transform and on your x-axis, I like -425, but you can play. Anyway, that'll left align Carol, and then she's a little too big. Let's reduce that scale to 90%. Voila. Now, in the piece I want the vertical video playing right next to her. And by the way, let's just trim this up a little bit.
Idiots.
I want it to end right there.
Idiots.
There we go. I want that right aligned space to be my vertical video. That's in my vertical arrow as well. There it is. Car's going crazy. Let's go in. Grab a chunk of that. Align our player head. Quick key Q. Drop it on. So now we see that centered. We don't want that. Simply go back over to transform. Instead of -425, we're going to do 425. That'll align it right, your positive number on the right side there. We're going to reduce that to 90 as well. And now we have two equally spaced videos. We're going to lower the sound here significantly. It's pretty loud. But then we have our kind of cold open here with the quick SOT pop of Carol.
Idiots.
And from there on, it's really just create your own adventure, how you want to lay this out. Experiment with these vertical videos on top of a foundation for a pack for broadcast. So I'm going to grab up here my first on camera.
Car thieves,
In, out. Just grab a chunk of that. I'm going to put the player head here. Quick key Q. I'm going to drop it next to Carol.
Idiots.
Cheaters and car thieves.
Same formatting is going to apply to me, right? -425. Replacing where Carol was, I'm going to change it to 90. So there I am. What I'd also quickly like to do is add a transition. I'm going to I'll use swap for fun, alright? Let's tighten that up. Let's see how that looks.
Idiots.
Cheaters and car thieves, known here in Milwaukee as
Obviously the sound's still a little bit hot. I'll wipe this out for now.
Cheaters and car thieves, known here in Milwaukee as the Kia Boys.
Alright. My voice isn't perfectly aligned. That's okay. I've put my transition in, and just for the aesthetic, what I'm going to do is we're going to go back up to D. Oh, these are transitions. Let's go to our effects bin. I'm going to grab a drop shadow. On Carol, on me, all the rectangles. Make it look a little nicer for broadcast. I don't like that drop shadowing positioning, so I'm going to adjust it just like this. Same with this video. Adjust it just like this. And then for myself here, move the player head, adjust that drop shadow. And you can obviously play with the scales of these drop shadows, the opacity, things like that over there. That'd be the scale of me here in the drop shadow. Options available if you want to play around. You can do it right here, transform it, stretch it. I just like this quick adjust. Looks fine like that.
Idiots.
Cheaters and car thieves, known here in Milwaukee.
So that's really some simple formatting. Let's go show you the final project here. You can see in addition,
Idiots.
In this video, young joyriders and car thieves, known here in Milwaukee as the Kia Boys, are at it again. And that yellow car there is, or it was, German.
I dropped in a screen grab of Carol's car that I pulled from the package I did a couple of years back. On Carol's next on camera, I added some
Keep
simple
reading that
text,
after you watch this video.
highlighting some keywords here
It has
again,
now been viewed thousands of times on TikTok and Instagram.
reinforcing what I'm saying. More screenshots of the damaged vehicle. And then another powerful moment from Carol.
That card to anybody knowing what has been done to her.
Next, let's flip this for vertical. All right, last step is flipping this vertical. We're going to start by creating one more project timeline. We'll call this one vertical video. My formatting's already set to vertical here. Give you that 9:16 frame. There's our new vertical project. We're going to go down and grab our vertical video. I've got it in my A-roll still here. Just going to drop it in the timeline. I'm going to just format a little bit. Get any other A and A-roll out of there. And just like our broadcast foundation, we're going to throw a blur on this from the effects bin. There we go. Come on. Gaussian blur. Going to change that back to 40. And commands, well, let's bring that audio down. Lower those decibels. Do everything once so you don't have to do it again. Now Command C, set up your player head. Command V, paste it out for the length of your vertical video. Now here's the easy part. Let's go back to our linear package, the package for broadcast, and all we have to do is just copy and paste. You don't have to take the base, just take all this top stuff here. Top 4 rows there. And in your vertical project down here, we'll just paste that. And here's all our elements. We're just going to rebuild our package on top of this vertical template. Now look, Carol's obviously not formatted properly. We can make sure we're selecting Carol. That's the drop shadow right there that I had on. If we get to transform here, there's Carol. You can use the transform box, or you can use the scale key. And we're just going to reformat the size of these. We can put Carol up here. We can scale her down a bit more if we want. We can come back down here. Let's get our player head down here, magnify. Let's grab the viral video itself. Obviously that's gonna be out of position as well, so we'll scale that guy down. I want Carol all the way there at the start.
Idiots.
And it's simple. That's when I pull myself back in here. I've still got that drop shadow on. You can take the drop shadow off. As our friends in Tulsa explained to me, that's something more that's maybe preferred in a television broadcast package, but we don't need those fine-tuned effects necessarily in a vertical video. I can take the place of Carol. We can go to our transitions tab here. We can put a cross dissolve on. Let's just do that. Easy cross dissolve. See what that looks like.
Idiots.
In this
Obviously, tighten that up.
Idiots.
In this video, young joyriders and car thieves known here.
Obviously needs a little bit of massaging, but you get the idea. Since you've already cut up your vertical A-roll for your broadcast package, now you have all these pieces that you can layer on top of the vertical video itself, saving yourself time and creating a compelling video for social media that only takes 5 to 10 minutes once you've got some reps in and you understand how to do it. What it'll end up looking like is this.
Idiots.
In this video, young joyriders and car thieves known here in Milwaukee as the Kia Boys are at it again. And that yellow car there was Carol McFarlane's yellow Kia Soul she named Gertie.
And if they do fix her and make me take her back, how safe would you feel after you watch this video of this car happen in a yard?
The video has now been viewed thousands of times on
See, I just repurposed the same text on screen, the same videos. It just takes a little bit of formatting. All right, thanks for watching, everybody.